Chelsea apparently score goals now, but that won't stop them from looking to reinforce some attacking areas. Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, Ocean. I hope you lot are all doing well today, my friends. I really do hope that it is the morning after the day before Chelsea scoring 4 goals in the Premier League under Thomas Tuchel. Wow, what a fun time that was. But just because they've proven systemically they can score goals with this false 9 system doesn't mean that they won't still look for attacking reinforcements. That's what we're discussing today in Chelsea News, the daily series here on Football Therapy where I go across the news media, see what's being said about the Blues, giving you my opinion on it, but more importantly asking for yours. Today I'm talking about Kai Havertz as a striker, Sergio Aguero, what Guardiola had to say about him joining a Premier League rival, and Hakan Çalhanoğlu from AC Milan. Let's talk about him a little bit as well. Chelsea News is brought to you by OneFootball, an application that's completely free and I use every day on the regs, and I want to urge you guys to do the same. You can follow Chelsea or indeed any club or international team and find out statistics from games, lineups, fixtures, results, transfer news, everything you'll ever need, all on your phone for completely free, or your computer. You can see this by simply clicking the link in the description for OneFootball. Takes a second, go check it out now. Alright then, let's get into the first story of today's video and talk about Kai Havertz. Now, it's around many rags because he starred in a Chelsea win in a London derby last night. Kai Havertz is Chelsea's record signing, or joint record signing, with Kepa Arrizabalaga. And although he only has 2 Premier League goals this season, I was never really worried about him because, you know, Timo Werner was brought in to score goals, Kai Havertz was brought in to sort of show and demonstrate quality, change games, a little bit of magic here and there, and also get a few goals to boot at the same time. To be honest, Kai Havertz has looked quality. He's been used as an attacking 8, a winger, a 10, so, you know, moving around and not as a striker, but combining well. Of course, he got a hat-trick in the cup as well. We've seen the quality, so no one's really been that worried about Kai Havertz. He doesn't look so bad in front of goal either. Anyway, he had an excellent game, of course, yesterday in the false 9 position. Thomas Tuchel said he had a little bit more energy than other alternatives and he wanted to give him another chance playing this role after Porto. So he was like, yes, I'm going to play you today against Palace, give you another chance to be a striker, and he did well. Paraphrasing there, of course, but he absolutely did well. A goal and an assist in that opening half an hour, 35 minutes. To be honest, he looked like he could have completely single-handedly dismantled Palace himself, and if he scored that goal with that little touch and, you know, turn thing, whatever that skill was, that would have been incredible. So he's oozing class, basically, but we know he can do it. We've seen it in Germany. He's done it for his Bundesliga club, Bayer Leverkusen, and of course his country. And it's positive. Striker Havertz looked good, even though he should have scored maybe 2 more goals, got another hat-trick to his name at Chelsea. Still, very positive. So looking forward under Thomas Tuchel, we've seen one sort of striker that works in the system. Giroud can score an overhead kick. Tammy's a good 9 for what he is. Timo Werner doesn't really play down the middle under Tuchel. I think he did that once and eventually was moved over anyway, so he wants him in that left channel. Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea working right now. It did work with Mason Mount as a false 9. I think we got a 2-0 like that. But optimally, you want Mount as a 10, and you want Kai Havertz as a striker. So that's positive, and of course a lot of news headlines are talking about that this morning, so we have to react to it here on Chelsea News. Let's keep with the striker narrative at the moment and move on to see or hear what Pep Guardiola had to say about a potential Chelsea transfer for Sergio Aguero. Now, if Haaland wasn't being touted around Europe on a tour with Mino Raiola and perhaps Mbappe going in the summer, if all these things weren't happening, Sergio Aguero on a free transfer would absolutely be the transfer story of a transfer season. But football's so mental at the moment, it's kind of fizzling under the surface. But the truth is, he's going to be a free transfer and Chelsea are one of the favourites to sign him as things stand because reportedly he wants to stay in England. Let's cite an article now and talk about what Pep Guardiola had to say. Guardiola insists he would have no issue with Sergio Aguero joining one of Manchester City's chief rivals in the the summer transfer window. The 32-year-old is set to depart the Etihad Stadium this summer and bring down the curtain on a trophy-laden decade of service. Aguero, who will leave City as the club's all-time record scorer, has attracted a number of suitors from abroad, including the likes of Barcelona, but his preference is to remain in England. Yeah, something I've spoken about here before on the channel is he wants to raise his goal tally in the Premier League and become maybe one of the top 3 goal scorers all time in Premier League history, maybe top 4, I think he might be 5th or 4th, maybe he's 4th for the moment. Anyway, he wants to do better, hence stay in England, get paid a lot, play at the highest level, etc. Let's read on. Chelsea are understood to be monitoring the situation carefully, and despite the likelihood of Thomas Tuchel's revamped team challenging City next season, Guardiola believes Aguero's loyalty should be rewarded with the opportunity to pick his next destination. Quote, "The best for him, we wish, all of us," Guardiola said in the news conference on Friday. "Find the best for Sergio in the last years of his career for sure. We'll be delighted with the decision he takes, what's best for him and his family and his career. My preference is his preference." Interesting. He's basically saying he's been our greatest striker of all time, but let him do what he wants, man. It's his decision. Who are we to hamstring him? And maybe, I don't know, there could be a little bit of, look, Frank Lampard, our all-time top goal scorer, going to City for a little bit. You know, maybe we'll do your all-time top goal scorer coming to Chelsea. You know, thank you very much. We're square. It's possible. And also, Pep Guardiola coming out and saying this, he might know that, you know, he's not played Aguero. They've not, you know, come to an agreement with an extension or whatever. He's going to go to Chelsea, but he doesn't want to look like a mug, or he doesn't want Manchester City to look like a mug, so he just says, my blessing has been given. Fine, go to Chelsea. We want him to be happy. We want him to go to Chelsea. He's not going to say, well, he's going to Chelsea, and that's horrible for us, and I'm sad. Whoa. Of course he's not going to say that. Anyway, we don't know where Sergio Aguero is going. He may well still go to Barcelona. He's being linked heavily to Leeds, which is mental. Imagine if Leeds signed Sergio Aguero. I mean, he'd score a lot of goals there. And if generally Sergio Aguero's desire is to crank up his goal tally, and that's it, he doesn't, you know, he's won enough trophies, he just wants more Premier League goals. Yeah, I guess, but Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds is a good opportunity to score more Premier League goals. I mean, they score more goals than Chelsea, right? So, hold on. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments section below as we move on to our next story of today and talk about some AC Milan transfer business. Hakan Çalhanoğlu. I always accidentally say Çalhanoğlu, but it is Çalhanoğlu. Oh my word, what a difficult player to say. Anyway, Hakan is an attacking midfielder that plays for AC Milan. In his late 20s, in his prime, in good form at the moment. A Turkish-German international, this player is available on a free transfer as things stand in the summer when his contract expires. Now, Chelsea might be looking for midfielders because, you know, Thomas Tuchel might want that extra sort of option because he's really heavily leaning on 3 players for 4 spots at the moment. Yes, we want Billy Gilmore in there, but we're not the coach, are we? So let me cite an article and talk about this player and the deal, potentially, a little bit more. Chelsea and Arsenal are said to be in the race for AC Milan midfielder Hakan Çalhanoğlu, according to reports in Sky Sports Italia. The 27-year-old technician, who is also linked with a move to Serie A giants Juventus, is set to become a free agent in the summer despite his club's very best efforts to keep hold of him. Reports claim Milan have tabled a contract offer worth £66,000 per week to the midfielder in an effort to keep him in the Italian capital, but it's said he wants more, as much as £82,000 per week. Interesting, so Chelsea are looking at a player on a free transfer who's demanding more money and might enjoy a big move to Chelsea Football Club, yet loads of clubs are in for him. Of course, Juve usually get their Italian players, much like Bayern in Germany, especially on a free transfer. They love free transfers. Now, he's demanding £82,000 a week for an elite European player. I believe Callum Hudson-Odoi is on £120,000 per week. He's the kind of player Chelsea absolutely reel in from Europe and say, come here, have money, London, Premier League. Don't worry about them and, you know, just come here, mate. Interesting. Let's look at some of the player data for Hakan. 27-year-old, born in Germany, but he's of Turkish and German citizenship. He's a midfielder, attacking midfielder, and he's right-footed. Of course, his contract expires in the summer. He can play central midfield, deeper, he can play as a number 10, and he can play as a left winger. Ooh. For Milan this season, he's got 11 goal involvements in 25 appearances, only 2 goals mind, so more of a sort of creator type player. But that's fine for Chelsea, we need creative type players. I mean, we've got a few, but if Kai Havertz is going to start banging him in, and systemically we found a new front three, and who knows, if we do buy this super striker, whether it's Haaland or Aguero or whatever, this another sort of attacking player could be good? Maybe. Anyway, I don't necessarily think we need this guy, but when you see AC Milan and a player that we might want, I know it's a free transfer, but you always think maybe something could be done with Fikayo Tomori, like keep the relationship sweet or something, like maybe pay a little bit of a compensation fee for the player or something, or Fikayo Tomori, I don't know, do you know what I mean? I don't know. Do you know about Hakan, the midfielder in AC Milan? Get down in the comment section and let me know what you know about him. I want to hear it. I want to read your comments. In fact, express yourself on all the stories we've spoken about in today's video. I want to hear it, my friends, and I hope you've enjoyed the content. If you have, please do drop a like. It really means a lot to me. Subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the football, of course, and I will see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I love me, baby.